Homeowners in England and Wales will be offered subsidies of £5,000 from next April to help them replace old gas boilers with low-carbon heat pumps. Up to 25 million homes are heated by gas boilers, but the grants will fund just 90,000 pumps over 3 years. Although the government says it wants no new gas boilers to be sold after 2035, it's not banned them outright. Experts have criticised the plans as unambitious, but the government says it will boost demand for heat pumps. But what are low-carbon heat pumps? Erik Coates is Energy Services Director, Pacifica Group. They run services in the domestic appliance, heating and renewable energy sector. Afternoon to you, Erik.
Hi, Ian.
Nice to have you with us. I keep hearing the term, get your boiler out and get a heat pump in there, sunshine, they tell me. And I'm thinking, I'd love to do that if I know what one is. What is it?
Well, a heat pump, the easiest way to explain it is it's a reverse fridge. So in your refrigerator, it sort of extracts the heat from the air to cool your products in the fridge. Now with a heat pump, it does the same in reverse. So it extracts the heat from the air outside the building, it compresses it and then condenses it into heat. And then it feeds into your typical wet system. So you'll be used to having radiators in most homes, and that'll heat the radiators, and it'll also top up your hot water cylinder.
Got it. So now I do hear some people, I've even heard environmentalists say, actually, we don't need to change gas boilers. We just need to change the kind of gas that services the boiler, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's right. There's a lot of talk about sort of hydrogen gas.
Yep.
And one of the things we're hoping that's in the strategy is the use of hybrid systems, because we believe that if you combine a heat pump with a hybrid gas boiler, and it's sort of future-proof in the home. And it's that sort of stepping stone that people are used to maybe in cars, where they go for a hybrid solution to the car, and once they're satisfied, they maybe go fully electric. But in terms of gas, if they use a hybrid solution and hydrogen comes along, which it's forecast to do in the next sort of 8 to 10 years, then their home's ready to be converted to a hydrogen gas.
So that would be a hybrid gas boiler at the moment?
A hybrid air source heat pump.
Heat pump, yes.
The heat pump would.
So it would work. It would work now, and then it would work if something new comes along, if that makes sense.
That's right. Yeah.
Got
so it saves that bit where we're scrapping all the current infrastructure.
I mean, some people do talk about the efficiency of heat pumps. That we're not a warm enough country for this thing to work. What's the truth of that, or what's the myth of that?
Well, the technology's improved, and heat pumps work satisfactory down to sort of -7, and occasionally you get figures below -7 in the UK, but it is very rare.
Yeah.
So they'll work fine at those lower temperatures, and they're sort of 300% more efficient than a gas boiler. So you do 1 kilowatt of heat from a gas boiler, the same energy would give you 3 kilowatts from a heat pump.
So what's coming into so at the moment? I mean, I know this is all very layman's term stuff, Erik, but it's probably quite helpful for our listeners. At the moment, I've got a big old fat gas pipe that comes into my house. I've got a meter in there as well, somewhere between the two, that tells me how much is coming in or how much is being used. And that goes into my boiler. It lights up and it heats the water and the radiators, and my shower is... What physically is replacing that gas then with a heat pump?
A heat pump, if you've probably seen them if you've been abroad, you've seen small air conditioning units. It's basically a square box that looks like a fan. Now that would sit outside your property, and that would extract the air and condense that into heat, and that would feed inside into your property in the form of hot water, either directly, like I said before, into the radiators, or on top of the cylinder for your hot water provision. Now
this new plan, I mean, supposedly you're not going to be able to buy a gas boiler after 2035. I mean, that's only 14 years away. It's not that far. Quite ambitious. And this new scheme that the government have announced some extra money for isn't even going to touch the sides, apparently.
Yeah, I think we're slightly disappointed that the government wasn't a bit more ambitious in terms of the funding they provided, but also in terms of the grant level, it's at £5,000. Ideally, we would like to have seen that sort of 7.5 and 8, because a heat pump typically costs between £10,000 and £12,000.
Wow!
So the grant is, paying for sort of less. So
it's it's much more expensive outlay than a gas boiler.
It is, yeah. Now that will come down as sort of volumes
Of course,
come up,
yeah.
but at the moment, that's the sort of level that you're looking at.
Good work. Erik, great info. Thank you for that, sir. Erik Coates, Energy Services Director at the Pacifica Group. This is their sector. That's what he does for a living. 0344 499